SIFT's Oversight tool does exactly what the name sounds like. It gives you oversight of all of the entities that you've connected to SIFT Analytics. So you can see all the different entities that I have connected here, and you can see their financial health score. And if it's very positive, that will be green, as in the case here. It will turn red if it is not looking so positive. You can then see the total income for that entity, as well as the net profit or loss. And you can add new columns here, including specific metrics that you are interested in seeing, SIFT plan, reporting currency, or accounting provider. You can also assign certain entities to people within your organization or add tags to make it easier to filter and categorize. You can also add a note, which is essentially a text-based column. So if you want to add a note, you will see it on the right-hand side here. Keep an eye on cash, or whatever you would like that note to be. You will see that as soon as you change anything, this little red dot will appear, telling you that you need to save your changes. This is very important because if you don't click save, you will lose any changes that you have made to this view. By default, there are 3 standard views. There's the financial view, which we are in now. There's the consolidations view, which empowers you to see any consolidations that you have connected to SIFT. You'll see here I've expanded this consolidation to see the 2 companies of which it's comprised. And then you have the review view, which is connected to SIFT's review tool. So here you can get a good view of the review status of your connected entities, including how many unreconciled transactions there are, whether there are any duplicate transactions, and so on. Returning to the financial view, you will see that you can add additional columns. So you can add from financials, say you perhaps want to look at your net margin. You could also look at maybe accounts receivable, accounts payable, so you can multi-select here. Do you want to show decimal points, and if so, how many? Perhaps you want to show 2 decimal points. You would then click Add. And this will add to your view. You just scroll to the right-hand side, and there you can see these 3 new columns. And remember to save. Returning to add column, you'll see you can add KPI scorecards. This will work a little bit differently because KPI scorecards are specific to a particular entity. So you will need to add the specific KPI scorecard for the entity that you want to see it for. So I'm just going to call this KPI as an example, and I'll click Add. If I scroll across here, you can see there's a little drop-down menu, and I can select from one of the KPIs that I have created for this specific entity. So perhaps I want to look at quantity sold from my sales health report. And perhaps here I want to look at debtor days from my financial health scorecard. So those will be set there. And you will see if you have not created a KPI scorecard for the entity, there will not be a drop-down arrow, but rather this little plus indicating you do not have a KPI to assign, but you can click here to create one. You have the option to reorder by dragging and dropping. You can also add from your chart of accounts from either your profit and loss or balance sheet, selecting a specific column. You can add from sales, again selecting a specific column. You can add from the Review tab. Just a note here that selecting any columns from Review will lock the date comparison type to Current. However, you can still change the dates for which the report is viewed. By default, Review is set for the past year. Transaction types, you can select a specific transaction type that you would like to see. And connections, this is our non-financial data option. So this is data that you may have connected from HubSpot, Zero Payroll, or any of our other non-financial data connections. This works very similarly to KPIs, so you would name it, and then if you add it, you will see a drop-down where you can select the relevant connection. Moving on to the consolidations view. As I mentioned, here you can get a good view of your consolidations and the entities of which each is comprised. You can also switch from a table view to a hierarchy view, so we can see that group is comprised of Demo Company US and Demo Company UK. This also applies to consolidations of consolidations, so this can be very useful. You can also add columns here, as you would in the financial view, and you can always rename the view. If we look at Review, you can also add columns here. It all works very similarly. Now, if you find that the standard views do not have enough of what you would like to see, you can create a new oversight view. So you can do this either by using a pre-built template or by starting from scratch. So if you choose pre-built template, you'll see our templates include financial, review, consolidations, and then also sales and transactions. So say you want to create a transactions view, you can use this template. We can name it transactions and then save. And here we have our new transaction view. If you want to set this as your default view, you can click the star and it will become the view that you will land on by default. If you've created a new view and you can't find it, don't worry, just click on this ellipsis icon and you will see the custom views that you've created. So let's create a properly bespoke review now. We're going to say start from scratch. And here you can select exactly which columns you would like to include. Perhaps you also want to include something from your chart of accounts. Click Add. Say Custom View. And here is your custom view. With any views, you can change from a current view to growth versus prior last year, growth percentage versus prior, and growth percentage versus prior last year. The only case in which you cannot make these comparisons is in the review section, as I mentioned before, which will always show you the past year. But again, you can change this to a specific date range that you would like to focus on. You can also choose whether you would like to show last refresh times. So you can see these entities have not been refreshed in very long, and maybe that's something you should investigate. As with other areas of SIFT, you can download this to PDF, Word, or Excel, or you can send it as a PDF to Slack or Teams. This is a really powerful tool because it enables you to see how your various connected entities are faring in one clear view, and you can really narrow in on the metrics that are most important to you. So whether that be transactions, the financial view, the consolidation view, etc. You can choose what you would like to see. And again, you can assign certain people to certain entities to ensure that they are keeping track of the entities for which they are responsible. So this really helps you to delegate and collaborate with members of your team. And just a note on assigning people to different entities, these need to be people that are connected to that organization on SIFT. You can also filter metrics by clicking on this funnel icon. You can also filter by the people that you've assigned. And another great way to filter is by adding tags. So perhaps we want to say that this is a priority, and we can assign the relevant tag to each entity. That is Oversight in a nutshell. If you have any questions about how to use this tool or how to make the most of it in your organization, then I recommend taking our Accounting Practice Management course on SIFT Campus or reaching out to your account manager for more details.